Coach Lora Erickson here. We'll have some people join us hopefully soon. Hopefully I've caught you guys at a good time. I want to talk about breaking in shoes today and how to do that. I have been trying lots of shoes lately, and just to I'm trying to figure out which shoes I want to use for an Ironman coming up. And I have decided on what shoes I'm wearing, so I wanted to talk about those shoes, and I've talked about kind of what you're looking for with shoes, and then also how to break in shoes. Welcome, thanks for joining us, Anna. And please, if you have comments, questions, please make sure that you post them down below. And thanks for joining, Michelle. It's nice to see you on here. Thanks for joining, Christy. Excellent. Thanks for all the hearts, guys. Good. I do want to talk about how to break in shoes. This is actually a question that I get quite a bit. So, now one thing that you've got to always consider with shoes is you need to make sure you have time to break them in. I've often heard of people that get shoes right before a race, and they don't allow enough time to break them in. So one thing I suggest at least 3 weeks out getting your new shoes for your race, whatever race it is. So you always kind of want to keep tabs on how many miles that you're running on those particular shoes. I know a lot of the software programs have, or the apps have a feature where you can actually put what shoes you've been run in each run that you do. So it can keep track of the mileage for you. So with shoes, you can get anywhere from 300 to 500 miles out of some good shoes. So if you keep track of that, I don't really track all my mileage on all my shoes. Honestly, I've been running so long, I can pretty much feel when my shoes are dead. So one of the ways you can tell is if you can feel every rock under your foot. You know they're pretty dead. And also another thing is when something starts hurting, if your hips are starting to bother you, or if your knees are starting to bother your legs or ankles or anything, that's probably a good sign that your shoes might be dead. So you'll need to get some new ones. So I'll be talking about what I do. So when I first get a pair of shoes, of course you take them out of the box, and of course you always go and try them on at a store. In my area, I go to Wasatch Running Center. They actually have 2 stores. They have one in Centerville and one in Sandy. But I highly recommend, whatever area you're in, go to this running specialty store. Not just your all-in-one stores. The shoes you're going to get at the specialty stores are much better model. So they may have your brand name that you're looking for at a different, like a all-in-one type, just, department type store or whatever, but you want to go to a running shoe store. They're different models, they're better shoes. So you always want to try them on at the store. You always want to run in them a little bit to make sure they're going to fit you right. And I've been running for so long, I often know what I like, but I remember once getting a pair of trail shoes, and I tried them on, but I didn't really run around in the store at all. And then I went trail running with them, and it totally cut into my ankle. That was bleeding all over the place. But normally I don't have that problem. So it's a good idea to run in this shoe just to double check. And it seems like that particular model was just high cut on the ankle. So always try them on, always run in the store a little bit. So I did go and try these fantastic shoes on. These are the ones, they're Paradigms. These are the new Ultra Paradigm 1.5. They're a 0 drop. They're maximum cushion, minimal weight. I wanted something super light yet very cushiony for the Ironman because I think my legs are going to be pretty darn tired when I get to the marathon portion after swimming 2.4 and then cycling for 112 miles. So I needed something that's very forgiving. So when I first got these, of course, grab them, get them out of the box. You try them on at the store. Of course, they fit you well. Then oftentimes they're not laced up completely, so finish lacing them. I wanted to show you kind of a lace trick that I don't think a lot of runners or beginner runners know. But if you look on this shoe, you can see how there's 2 holes here. And those 2 holes, see how I've got one string that looped through both of them? That's usually not already looped up. So I usually loop that up, and then I can tuck my other string through it. You can see when you tighten these up, these will actually clamp down on the shoelace and they hold it in place. It won't come undone. I actually double knot my shoes when I do run in them. So that's kind of a little trick, a little lace trick. So if you didn't know what these double holes are right by each other, That's what you use them for. The rest I just crisscross, of course. One of the, you probably saw my road ID. That's one of the first things I put on my shoes. If you're not aware of what road ID is, just go to roadid.com and you can get these little things that you put on your shoes or your wrist. Thanks for the hearts. Yes, road ID is fantastic. You never know when an accident's going to happen. And if you have your phone with you and you get hit, that phone probably isn't going to be by you at any point, nor is that phone going to help anyone know who you are. So this is an identifier. This tells who you are. You can put your address. You can put a phone number of an emergency contact. I put down an allergy that I have, a medication allergy. That information is key. So if you do get in an accident or something, always put my road ID on. I have many of these. I actually have this one for my running shoes, so it's always on my running shoe. I actually have several of these. So I have it on my trail shoes. I do use different shoes for different terrain that I'm running, or what my workout is. Depends on what, if I use a minimal or if I use a 4mm, 8mm. I actually have on my website, I just did a review on some shoes, handful of shoes, not all the shoes that are out there, but quite a few. And so if you're interested in learning when I would use 4mm, 8mm, you can go to my website at blonderunner.com and check that out. But so you want the road ID. First thing I put on, tie them up the way I like them. And then I also put my Garmin FootPod. I highly suggest that if you're interested in learning about cadence. I probably should put an article together about that. Cadence this is a cadence sensor, and there's some other brands out there that are good too. But I want to know my cadence. I like the numbers, so I do put that on. So I did mention three weeks ahead of your big race or marathon or anything like that, make sure your shoes are going to last for the rest of that training to taper you down to your main race. And then how I usually break mine in is I like to just walk around my house with them on. I like them to mold to my feet, and I like them to get warm to mold to my feet. I'll walk around the store or whatever. But normally I don't wear my current running shoes. I allow all that wear to be done running. So I only wear them usually when I'm breaking them in. I'll wear them around that day. Depends on how quickly I want to break them in. But what I would never suggest, you don't want to go on your longest 20-mile run with brand new shoes. You'll have blisters. It takes a little time to break into any shoe. And some shoes are a lot stiffer. I found with these Altras particularly, you break them in really easily. They're super comfortable from the beginning. That's what I really like about them. And so they don't take very much time to break in at all. Other shoes that don't have quite as much give, you'll have to allow a little more time. But usually walking around one day, sometimes I would suggest too, alternating your old shoes with your new shoes. The only time that becomes a problem is maybe if you're changing brands, or you're changing, how much of a wedge it has. These have no wedge, but most shoes do have a wedge, and so depending on how high that wedge is and then what you change to, it might take some time for the body to adapt. So adapting, running with your older shoes and then just alternating. Honestly, it takes me very little time to adapt to a new shoe. I have a neutral arch. So I do want to talk a little bit about pronation. Pronation doesn't mean you have some major disease. It's not a bad thing. And matter of fact, most people do pronate some. If you don't pronate, then you don't have a lot of give to your foot. And you can either over-pronate or under-pronate. The key, or if you have flat feet. So the key with that is going to a store that they have people, of course, most people that work at a running store are runners, but they will find you don't have to know what your pronation type is or what exact shoe you need. They have all that information. They can get that for you. And so, and they usually just put it in their computer and they always know what's a good shoe for you. But that will affect, of course, you don't want to sometimes they'll have clearance shoes or something. You need to make sure they're still the right shoe for your pronation type. If you're getting a shoe that's not working for you, you might end up injured. So you want to be careful with that. But, breaking in the shoe by walking around, alternating with your old shoes maybe a week or two, maybe every other. But I wouldn't, like I said, I would go on maybe 3 or 4 mile run up to maybe 6 mile run the first time, see how they're feeling, and then just get, used to them. And it's kind of a good idea to stick with this. If you find a brand that you really like, then stick with that. Stick it, if it's not broken, then don't fix it. I think a lot of people think you have to try every brand of shoe. Not necessarily. You find something that works well for you, but if you keep getting blisters or have problems, especially if you're getting blisters on the under your toes, the chances are you're getting too small of a size. And most good running shoe stores will know you need to size up a half or full size to allow those feet to swell when you exercise. So they're not going to fit quite the same as if you have, you haven't been running. That's why it's important to run a little in the store, to allow them to swell, to see if they fit you just right. Other shoe things that you need to look for with shoes are, like, the reason these are so great for me is, like, I have a fairly narrow foot, but the top of my foot isn't so narrow, so I have that bone that sticks out the side, and so I found a wider toe box like these really work well for me. So if you're having problems with that bone on the outside of your foot, then you might want to consider something with a wider toe box, or what was the question there? New shoes for the weekend. I'm glad I went to the running. Yes, I'm glad you went to a running shoe store too, because they know what they're talking about. They're going to get you in a good shoe, and they'll keep that in the computer. They'll know if you can't remember what you had, maybe the shoe before last that you liked better than the new one you tried. It is good to kind of document, and I'm a big believer in keeping a log, a running log. So document what shoes you use if you like, and I tend to stay with a few shoes at a time. So I actually am in Ultras for my trail running shoes right now too. I haven't been trail running as much as I usually do this time of year, just kind of make, hopefully my body cooperates for this Ironman that's coming up in a short time. So definitely helpful to get some good shoes. Comfortable the first time you try them on. Perfect. That's what you want. If you're in that store and you try them on and they're not comfortable from the beginning, they're probably not going to be comfortable running in them. Will it take some time to break them in? Yeah. But if they're not comfortable, don't get them. Get a different, or maybe it's the wrong size for you. You don't have to buy what your friend's buying. I mean, you don't have to buy, what this person or that person recommends. It really depends on your foot and your foot shape and what you feel comfortable running in. And definitely I think there are some brands that produce better shoes for me. So you have to find what works for you. Yeah, like picking out a wedding dress. There's one that's just right for you, and that's exactly it. And sometimes you do have to go through a few pairs of shoes that aren't quite perfect for you, but sometimes you learn how, you'll appreciate that perfect pair when you do find them. You haven't had a good luck with those shoes, but definitely try them on and ask lots of questions at the store. They're there to help you. They want you to get in the right shoe, and asking questions is a great way to find out what works. I always ask, what's the most popular shoe? That's probably a good way to get a good shoe. It's the one people keep coming back for, so that's probably one that's good. But hopefully those are some good tips. Let me make sure I covered everything. I always write a little list to make sure I cover everything. Yeah, pretty much covered everything on my list. Any questions? Everybody hopefully is running and doing more triathlons, Michelle, I hope, and others. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and hope this was helpful. And visit me on my website at blonderunner.com, and you can follow me on Facebook as well at Blonde Runner Health. Yes, I thank you for giving me good luck for the Ironman, and I hope to do a few more Periscopes. We got 3 weeks, but definitely it's very exciting, and I'm excited to do it. So thanks for all the support. Have a great day.